You're listening to the Geekscape Network.
Time to fire up the VCR. This one's my favorite. That was gold.
Welcome to Analog Jones and the Temple of Film. I'm Steve.
And I'm Matt.
And we're a VHS podcast that looks at the box art trailers and behind the scenes. I'm a little rusty.
Who's rusty over there? What's going on?
I don't know, man. It's been a while, but welcome back.
It's good to be here. Good to be back for right now. till the next adventure.
It's been a while since we got together, and last time I had set up that we were going to do The Crow and Dark City.
New Line Cinema presents a startling new vision from the director of The Crow. On the edge of reality, and the threshold of illusion, lies a world beyond all imagination.
I call them the strangers. The city, everyone in it is their experiment. They mix and match our memories.
There's no way out! Take your seat!
Dark City, rated R, starts Friday, February 27th.
Now, I did The Crow with a couple of special guests, but Dark City is going all to you.
Oh, thanks. Thanks for saving it, because I watched it. I'd be really mad if... No, I'm just kidding. I'm glad. I'm glad we're doing this one. Who was on the Crow one again? Remind me.
Scott and John.
Nice. How did they like it? They enjoy watching it?
Oh, yeah, we all loved it.
Nice.
That movie's so much fun. It's just a straight, easy, simple revenge film that has just beautiful visuals thrown into it.
Yeah, I like that movie a whole lot.
Probably, it's up there in one of my favorite comic book movies.
Same.
It's
Yeah,
definitely
really
the 90s comic book movie, though.
Oh, early 90s? Yeah, that's
Yeah.
like 94 just like on screen. 90 you guys know. My 93, 94, 95 region's like my favorite to operate in.
Yeah. And from the same director, Proyas. I don't know how to say his last name.
You're right. I think it's Proyas.
Is it
Proyas.
Proyas?
Proyas. Let's go with Proyas. I don't know.
What after Gods of Egypt? No one should pronounce his name right. That movie's so awful. I can't finish it.
I've seen it, and it's like awful, but not like in a way like where I'm like, oh, it's so bad you gotta see it. It's like it's just awful. It's just awful.
No, and I can't figure out what they were trying to do with it. This movie, on the other hand, I think is great. But the lead man, Murdoch, I think that actor was probably a bad choice.
Okay.
So
okay.
I wonder what you think about him.
All right. We'll get into it, I guess, when we get into it.
Yeah, first, I guess we should, who cares about all the starring people? We'll end up talking about it, because this is loaded with stars.
Yeah. There's a lot of people.
Especially 90s stars.
Yes. There's a lot of cool people in this one.
Yeah, so when we, pop this in, I guess we'll get right into it. Well, I guess you can read the description first.
Yeah, so here's our box. Looks like you've got this from Hollywood Video. Did you actually get this from Hollywood Video, or did you get this secondhand?
Yeah, so a long time ago, I worked at Hollywood Video for, say, about 2 weeks before they shut down.
Oh, nice. You closed Hollywood Video. Good job.
Yeah. They hired me, and then 1 week later, one of the managers goes, "Oh, I just got bad news, man. We're closing." And so I'm like, okay. And he's like, but the good news is you can buy all these, fucking movies for like $2.
And you're like, sign me up.
Yeah. So this is an old one. I've had this one for quite a while.
Nice. Yeah, we've got a cover. It says Dark City. You got your cast on top from the director of The Crow. We got our lead character kind of stuck in a clock, and it's kind of out of focus. We see the city in the background. It's very comic booky drawn behind him. And then we see the faces of some of the cast members we have on here. I cannot read the tagline because it is blocked by the sticker, but I'll flip over to the back here and I'll read some of the quotes on the back. 2 thumbs up from Siskel and Ebert, an eye-popping visual feast from CBS-TV, a frightening dream, a dizzying trip from the Gannett newspapers.
Gannett?
Sure. Yeah, I don't know what that is. Gannett, yep, I don't know what that is. So here's our description for those of you who don't know what Dark City is. Welcome to a world where mystery and madness collide. From the director of The Crow comes a futuristic thriller that's a dark, dazzling sci-fi mind-bender, CBS-TV. When John Murdoch, Rufus Sewell, Dangerous Beauty, awakens in a strange hotel room, he finds that he is wanted for a series of brutal murders. The problem is that he can't remember a thing. Pursued by the police and haunted by the strangers, mysterious beings who possess the ability to stop time and alter reality, he seeks to unravel the twisted riddle of his identity. But in a city where reality is the ultimate illusion, discovering the truth could be fatal. Also starring Kiefer Sutherland, Jennifer Connelly, and William Hurt, Dark City is an astonishing visual and dramatic triumph. Roger Ebert. Rated R, 100 minutes.
Yeah, this is an incredible screenplay, in my opinion. Were how they've got the twists and turns of the neo-noir.
Yeah, it's watching this again, like, I guess I hadn't seen it in some time. I remember seeing when the director's cut of this came out on DVD. They did a couple screenings of it, and I remember going to a screening of that, but that was probably still 12 years ago now when that DVD came out. I don't remember, but it was some time ago. So I haven't seen this in a long time. So seeing this again, it like reminded me of kind of what like Inception was kind of trying to do. And I do not like Inception, but I do like this movie. So.
Yeah, I think this is more of like the pre-Matrix.
A little bit too. I could see the Matrix in there as well.
Yeah, it's or definitely Blade Runner with the city,
right?
In a way. But I actually think this, instead of copying Blade Runner City, which many, many, many movies have done, I believe this one evolved it.
Yeah, they do something new. They really do. I mean, they do the futuristic, everything's dark, everything's wet, but like it's new. It's a cool look that they have for this movie in the world of this movie.
Yeah, I always like the Fifth Element and Dark City's way of doing the Blade Runner futuristic, like cyberpunk. Like it's futuristic, but like it's basically all scumbags.
Yeah, and it has the Dark City has like this almost like influence of like the 50s futurism thing. So if you see like the Batman animated series, like kind of how that has that Art Deco 50s futurism feel, this movie kind of has that too a little bit.
Yeah, and you probably know that I'm a massive Art Deco movie like visual fan. I mean, Rocketeer poster's literally right behind you. So yeah, I think it's beautiful. The bold geometric shapes. If any newbie film person is in here listening to this and you stumble upon when we say like Art Deco and these, it's bold geometric shapes. That's really what it comes down to. And then they really put their own 90s twist on it with the stylized blue, black. I would almost say like, I guess they kind of just put like a blue filter, but I know it's more than that.
Yeah, it's that. If you guys are kind of looking for like, if you've never seen Dark City and you're looking for like a visual palette to maybe go off of, think of like the music videos from this.
Yeah,
time. 9 Inch Nails, Orgy, like all the new metal bands, the industrial bands from like the late 90s. If you've seen one of their music videos, it sort of has that look.
Yeah.
Color-wise.
That's a good way of saying it. So I guess let's go back in time when we used to do this. If you saw this in a video store, do you rent this?
The cover? It's intriguing. It's not great.
No.
I sort of like the theatrical poster is just sort of the out of focus him on the clock, but adding all kind of this other shit, with like the cat, the floating heads at the bottom and like kind of very text heavy. I don't know if I snag this right away. I guess he's like screaming, so it looks like it's going to be like a thriller horror movie. So I'm interested maybe, but I don't know if I'm grabbing this right away.
The reason I did not see this in theater. I don't even remember this coming out. Because this came out in 98.
Yeah.
And what I found out today, and I did not know this was finished and production or post was basically done in late 96, and they wanted to come out with it somewhere in 97, and they pushed it all the way to 98, which to me, this is a New Line, right? New Line Warner Brothers?
Yeah, New Line.
Yeah. They must have not felt good about this, and part of me after watching this knows why. Because I probably hadn't seen this in 5-6 years, something. It's been a while, and I certainly wasn't looking at it the way I'm looking and watching it now. Now I'm more like, breaking it down, kind of looking at certain things. Before I was just like, duh, it's on the background.
Yeah, I think it also, this was one, and we'll probably talk about this after we talk about the movie, but I know this one got chopped up too pretty bad from New Line, which
Probably
is not not really in their MO, which is not something they typically would do.
I've seen the director's cut, and I don't really think it's tremendously better.
I've seen them so far apart from each other that I can't compare. Like, I've seen them both, but I can't compare them.
I just don't get it. Like, when I watched the director's cut, I was like, oh, I see what he was trying to do, but I've read people online, I've read some opinions online where they're like, the director's cut is far superior. And I just don't see that. That
seemed to be the general consensus. So, like, when that director's cut came out, like I said, I saw that in a theater kind of around the same time when the re-release or whatever came out. And I don't remember having that feeling, like I remember everybody talking about being like, this is the original vision. This was the way this movie can finally become a classic. And I remember seeing it in the theater being like, I don't know. I kind of feel the same way about this as I did before.
Yeah, I think the beginning improved quite a bit on the director's cut because of how they cut in, when you're introduced to the world and you have the wheezing, hissing, I don't remember Kiefer Sutherland's doctor's name.
No, I don't remember either.
I only remember Murdoch's name and then the two main bad guys, Mr. Book, which I don't know is called Mr. Book, and then Mr. Hand, which Mr. Hand is by far the star in this. Steals the show, in my opinion.
Is that Richard O'Brien?
Yes.
Yeah.
So
he's my favorite in this movie, too.
He's probably everyone's favorite.
Yeah.
And then, Jennifer Connelly, even though she's not really in this much and doesn't have much to do, she's just stunning, and she's perfect for neo-noir movies.
Yeah, she was tailor-made, especially this one, which has sort of the 50s vibe, and she has that sort of like old Hollywood look about her, so fits in. And then even Melissa George, too, the blonde in this, is perfectly cast. Like, this is probably the best role she's done.
Yeah, I kind of wish the females in this movie were more important to the story.
Yeah, they don't have a ton to do.
But I always wonder, is that on purpose? Because in the old noir movies, females basically didn't have much to do.
Right, they were the femme fatales or the blonde bombshell. That was basically what they had to do. So maybe that's what they're going back for.
But this was in the 90s when female, stars were getting juicier roles because Hollywood was like...
Hollywood was waking up a little bit.
They're like pulling their collar. Plus, females were making money. Ripley, and then you had a whole assortment come in the early 90s. It still took like another 20 years before we're really like diving into them, but Hollywood's slow.
Jennifer Connelly probably got paid pretty good on this because she is actually listed. She's the first one after the title, so you get Rufus Sewell and Kiefer above the title, and then she's the first listed person. So she probably got at least paid pretty well, even though she just kind of had to play like the wife role.
Yeah, that's always sad when they're just. Their whole point of living in the story is for a man.
Yeah. And it's funny that Kiefer Sutherland kind of gets above the title treatment because he's not super in this either. Like,
I don't quite know what he's doing in this role.
I think he's fun to watch, though.
I agree. I think,
I don't know either, but it's fun to watch.
Every time I watch this film, I'm like, I don't know if this is working, but I'm not taking my eyes off.
Yeah.
But that's not always a good thing. I think in this one, it's fine.
Oh, yeah. It's a weird choice, and I like it, because he doesn't do a lot of weird stuff. He typically plays Kiefer Sutherland in things, especially lately. But, it's fun to see him play a little bit here.
Yeah, I agree. It's once he got past, I would say Lost Boys, which that's kind of a weird role.
Yeah, he gets to play there too.
And he's got a few others. Like I always remember when he was the voice in Phone Booth.
Oh yeah.
I always thought that was odd, but that's just a voice. I
mean,
how much did he actually work?
I don't know. That movie is pretty.
No, it's awesome.
It's pretty centralized on that voice. So he might actually put some time into that.
Well, I just think he's got an excellent voice. I think it comes really natural to him.
Yeah.
So I wonder, now Now, 24, I could give a shit about that, Kiefer Sutherland. No offense to any fans of that show. I don't care about TV series hardly ever.
Yeah, I'm the same way. I don't care.
And
I don't care.
I feel like he's a dick.
In real life?
Yeah.
Yeah?
I feel like it, like, at least maybe he's such a good actor that, like, I have that, like, I get that, like, kind of feeling from him.
Really?
Like, he's just like, get me my water, make sure it's sparkling, it's room temperature, you know.
Well,
Like,
Kiefer, since you're listening, just write in. Let us know. Are you a dick in real life?
I don't know, though. But he could be awesome, and he could, like, save puppies from, like, you know, hurricane-stricken environments. Whatever.
Maybe. Who knows? Who knows? Where were we going with this? I
don't know.
felt like I had a point to
It's been a while since we've done this, so.
I felt like the direction you're going, I was like, I have something really good to say here. It's gone. We went too far off the path.
It's what we're known for. Rambling to the point that we lose listeners.
No, we're only gaining them, right?
Apparently. I don't know how. So let's get into the trailers on this, which will pop this tape in. And we had just like New Line always does, they don't let us down with trailers.
Yes.
Now playing at a motion picture theater near you.
So looking at them, because I have them down on a list here because there's too many to remember. First, we always, we have to have the Movie Line magazine promo.
I love these.
Yeah, they're
I
just
love these.
so tabloidy.
Yeah, so these are like, basically like if you watch like E! In the 90s, This is what this was. Gossip about celebrities, who's sleeping with who, this kind of thing. I love
Who's
it.
dating who.
Yeah.
What are they wearing?
Yeah, I love it.
Oh, Barf just came to the door. She's checking us out. She must be done with her bone.
Yeah, now she's trying to see what we're up to.
And then next we had one of the longest trailers I've ever seen for a movie, Pleasantville. 4.5 minutes.
Wow.
We still haven't watched this movie on this. We've seen Pleasantville's trailer a lot.
Well, yeah, because we've been watching a lot of stuff from like 98, 97, when this came out from New Line. But yeah, we haven't watched this. And
Well,
it's a long trailer, but it's a good trailer because it does get you to want to watch the movie, at least. That's how I felt when I watched it. I was like, I want to watch this again.
And I don't own it on VHS.
Me neither. Me neither. That was kind of a sleeper. Kind of came and went. So I don't think even in my travels now and searching for VHSs, I've never seen it.
That's what I was going to say. I don't see this often at all.
No. I don't even see the DVD really anymore. It's a weird one.
No. It's, I tell you one that's readily available is the next one, Rush Hour.
Oh, yes.
That's everywhere. 50-cent bins.
Yes. And seeing this trailer again just reminded me how much I don't like the first movie. Because all the funny parts are in this trailer.
I haven't seen, we've talked about this so many times, I haven't seen the Rush Hours probably since they came out.
Not missing much.
Yeah,
I like not two, I guess, but...
I'm not I like buddy cop movies, obviously, but I just don't like where they always set it up. They're like East meets West,
yeah,
and you're like, this has been done forever in kung fu movies all the way back in the 70s. This isn't new, and to me, this was just like 90s audiences being like, hey, this is great. This has never been done before.
Yeah, Chris Tucker's funny. But he just didn't get utilized that well, in this.
I like weird Chris Tucker, from Fifth Element.
Yeah. I like to see him play a little bit more.
Yeah, this one is just Chris Tucker kind of be a clown.
Right.
And
kind of. But then also they tried to make him like an action star in this. And it's like, I don't need him to be an action star. I like Friday Chris Tucker.
I'm trying to, I can't remember him as an actor. I know what you're saying, but I just don't even see him in an action. He's not an action star.
No.
He's funny in a very particular way. I don't even know how to describe what he does, but let's move on to Blade trailer.
Yes, Blade. God, this trailer got me so hyped when this movie was coming out. I was so stoked for this one.
It's amazing how dated that film is. Of the 90s.
It's a Super Nintendo, but it holds up. It's fucking awesome, that movie.
I don't know if it holds up. In my opinion. I haven't seen it in a long time, but when I watched the trailer, I was like, "Woo, '90s!"
Yeah, there's some bad CGI in there, that's for sure.
So, and then Wedding Singer afterwards. That's one of the Adam Sandler movies I still like.
Me too.
Yeah,
Me too. I don't like a lot of... I did, actually, when they were coming out, I didn't like a lot of Adam Sandler movies. And I still don't like a lot of Adam Sandler movies. But Wedding Singer, I like a whole lot. I think it's funny.
You didn't like the new detective one that's on Netflix?
No, I didn't watch it because I'm not going to like it.
It's like Clue, in a way. We watched it. It is a Friday night movie. Like, you're stressed out from work, you want to relax, and it's just on, and you're like, after it's done, you're like, well... Okay,
I did something.
Yeah, so that I never. I think we sat through the entire movie, and I laughed out loud one time.
But you still sat through the whole movie, so that's.
I didn't want to. I just didn't want to move. It's not terrible. It's just not good. It's right there in the middle.
Gotcha.
Mr. Nice Guy, little teaser trailer was on. After that, another Jackie Chan, because, man, New Line loved pumping the Jackie Chan movies out.
They're cranking them out.
Then we had the Woo trailer.
Yes.
Never seen this movie.
I saw, around this time, for whatever reason, I saw a lot of movies like this, but I can't remember if I've seen this one.
Then we had Palmetto. Never seen.
No.
No.
I don't even remember this one, to be honest with you.
This is just one that... I wonder if they, purchased this one.
Like a festival one, maybe?
Something...
They're just dropping it on video.
Yeah.
So it wasn't... Probably didn't even have, a theatrical release.
Probably not. That's probably why we've never heard of it.
Yeah. And you just said it right now, and I was like, I've watched these trailers, and I do not remember this one at all.
So it's time for the feature presentation...
And now, our feature presentation.
When this movie starts, I instantly know I'm going to like it, but in the VHS cut of this, the beginning of this just kind of confuses me because it shows Kiefer Sutherland is he heavy? What is he doing?
Was this added later? The Kiefer Sutherland, to make him more a part of the movie or something. I don't know this. This is not.
I don't know.
This is not something that I've researched. It's just it seems like this voiceover narration at the beginning was added later.
Yeah, because definitely in the director's cut, the beginning is different.
Yeah.
So maybe. And see, here's one thing I did not do in this. I did not watch the director's cut. After this, I just watched the theater cut that we have. So I don't know, but I do remember the beginning is different.
Yeah, I'm same. I haven't seen the director's cut in a long time, so I don't remember this. I haven't seen either of them in a long time, and then finally watched the theatrical, so I can't tell you.
Yeah, and then it goes into this whole setup of he wakes up. Does he wake up in a bathtub, and then there's a dead girl? And then he's being chased by the detective. It's something like that. He's set up. He doesn't know who he is. So it's you're trying to figure out the story with the character type movie.
Right.
And he's accused of a murder. He's running from William Hurt, which is the inspector or detective.
Uh-huh.
And one thing you notice about this movie right away is it's always night.
Yeah, it's always night. I do think you're right too. He wakes up in the bathroom and he is being chased. I don't know if that's when we see the dead girl. If we find out about that later, I don't remember where the dead girl pops up. But yeah, he has no memory, and he's fleeing from the detective as well as the strangers, who we meet too very early on in the movie.
Yeah, I kind of wish this movie, and maybe the director's cut did, is where we just wake up with him to start the movie. I believe that's the best way to do this. If you're going to set this... Because Kiefer Sutherland in the theatrical cut, was just he was telling about all the tuning and everything like that. To me, that feels like a studio going, they won't understand it.
This is the Blade Runner thing. Having to add the narration to explain the movie later.
No,
type
just
thing.
show it.
Yeah, I mean, if you're having a character waking up with no memory, not knowing who he is, not knowing what he did, not knowing what happened... We can be the we're starting with him then, so we could be the audience to follow along with it, storytelling wise. It makes more sense. So we don't need it to explain; the audience can figure it out.
But is that us being film nerds?
No, I think this is the case of Hollywood not understanding how, I don't want to say smart, but like how much smarter audiences are than they typically give them credit for.
Okay.
I don't think we need it. I don't even think a regular audience needs it.
First of all, after they tell us everything about it, I still don't get it. Like when I know the movie, and when I listen to it, I'm like, wait, tuning? They're people trying to study humans? What the fuck does that mean? And then when I see it on film, I'm like, oh,
right.
They're weirdos and they don't understand us and they're
Right.
studying.
Right.
You don't really I don't really need a long fucking drawn out exposition on this bullshit because I don't care until I see it.
Right, exactly. And yeah, you can't understand. And there's still a lot of things in this movie that I don't understand, period.
Yeah.
But that's okay, because that's this kind of movie. Like, I don't need to understand it to like it, you know? So, I don't need everything explained.
This movie just provides a nice buffet of visuals.
Right.
And I feel like that's first and foremost what you needed to do in this. And they did. So I think that was like, there's a huge pro on this. I love the visuals, the art deco, the lighting, everything like that. What I don't like is Murdoch, the actor here. I don't feel... He's a good actor. I'm not saying that, so don't confuse that. What I mean is, when he did The Crow, Brandon Lee burst off the screen.
Right. He was charisma defined.
Yeah. And you were in a murky, depressing city. And the story, even though The Crow ends up ending well, it's still not a good place to be.
Yeah.
And with this, when you have that type of story, you need someone who leaps off the screen, in my opinion, to just like capture the goodness of what could have hope. I believe even when this movie ends, I still don't have hope because I'm like, yeah, but this guy has no fucking charisma.
Yeah, he's interesting here, Rufus Sewell. I feel like he's made a career of being like miscast, unfortunately, because he is good.
Yeah,
he's a good actor. I've seen him in other stuff, and I like him. But like I do feel like often people don't know what to do with him when he's cast and stuff. This one though, I'm differing a little from you here. I don't mind him in this. I don't love him in this, but I don't dislike him. You know, like I don't mind him. I don't mind following him.
Well, I think that's the problem. You don't mind him.
Yeah.
I want to follow Brandon Lee.
That's
I will go
true.
anywhere with that man.
Right.
And there's a lot of there's a lot of leading men and women from the 90s, mostly men, because let's be honest, it's Hollywood.
Yeah, that's what they were casting at the time.
So, and I always go back to Will Smith, but damn it, even in a bad movie, Will Smith's never really the problem.
Yeah, it's true. I wonder if sort of pushing Kiefer Sutherland to be more in the movie was like New Line's way of seeing that maybe, and they were like, well, Kiefer's in it too. And because before I saw this movie, like I was a little aware of it. I remember kind of seeing like a teaser trailer or something before like Austin Powers or something like that. So I was a little aware of this movie when it was coming out, but I was convinced that Kiefer Sutherland was the star of the movie.
So did I. I remember when I first got this tape, it was, I want to say maybe right outside of high school, maybe somewhere in college, and someone just told me like, oh, you like sci-fi movies, this is one of the most underrated I've ever seen. I looked at it and I'm like, wait, Jennifer Connelly? Kiefer Sutherland? What the fuck? How have I never heard of this? Oh, and then I saw from the director of The Crow, which I was like, wait, what?
Where did this come from?
Then I watched it and I was like, oh, this movie's great, sort of. And I think that's the problem. Like, it's, I don't know. I to me, this feels like a movie. It's for film nerds.
Maybe a little bit. Yeah, it is for. You gotta like a certain kind of thing to like this. So like, I wouldn't. I mean, jumping ahead, but like, I wouldn't wholeheartedly recommend this to everybody. You know what I mean? Like, I would recommend this to nerds, sci-fi people, visual people, 90s people, but not like everybody.
Let's go into the main baddies in this. How do you feel about the, I guess this is a spoiler, but extraterrestrial? I mean, they're aliens.
Yeah.
but they're not your typical aliens.
I like the strangers. I think are like a cool concept and a very 90s concept. You know, the big leather jackets, the bald heads, white skin, very everything's like very 90s with them. But I mean, the genius. This is where we'll give Proyas some credit here, major credit here. Casting the genius of bringing Richard O'Brien into this movie.
The strangers are based off his character in Rocky Horror Picture Show. And he did not know if he was going to cast him because, well, he just never worked with him.
Yeah, and Richard O'Brien doesn't do a lot of movies.
No.
He doesn't. It's just the way it is. Like, but
I only know him from maybe 3 movies.
Right, same.
Yeah.
And 2 of them are Rocky Horror movies.
Yeah, exactly. So when he met with him in London, he's like, oh, okay, you do fit this character. Because he didn't know. He's like, I wanted visually to look like that, but I didn't know if he could play this character. And then he said right away, he's like, no, he knocked my socks off. He's perfect.
And this is kind of going to your Brandon Lee point. Talk about somebody who jumps off the screen in this movie. Like, he's not the star. He's the main baddie, but like, God, every time he's on screen, you can't take your eyes off him.
Maybe that's a problem, too, is Murdoch, the actor, what's his name again?
Rufus
Sewell. I don't think he can compete with O'Brien.
No, I don't think so either.
So right there, this is really weird. At one point, when I watched the film this time, I was this is messed up, but I was kind of cheering for Mr. Hand to win. And that's weird.
Yeah, he's more charismatic. He's more likable, even though he's the bad guy in this. So, like, yeah, it's the problem we've talked about 100 times with leading actors. They give us a blank slate, but then they don't give us anything else.
Yes,
and that's what happened, I think, here.
Yeah, I do. I really wonder what would happen if they just would have cast someone else, or just let him go. Just maybe he's got something else. Like, obviously, you let Kiefer Sutherland do it.
Yeah. Yeah, it would have been interesting to see Sewell play, like, a big character. Like, he could have no memory and be trying to figure it out, but, like, let him play it a little bigger.
Yeah, they've been...
Because I've seen Sewell give some big performances. Isn't he in Gods of Egypt as well, giving a giant performance?
Yeah.
I've seen him give big performances, so, like...
Oh, no, yeah, he can...
I would like to see him do that here, maybe.
Yeah, Gods of Egypt, though. I'm just not even going to talk about that film. All I remember, really, was laughing so hard at Brian Brown being in it.
Is he in that?
Yes.
Oh, God.
He is... God. Oh, what's the... Mr. 300.
Gerard Butler?
Yeah, Butler. I think Brian Brown is his father?
Okay. I would say I got to go back and watch, but I'm never going
to. I made it halfway through the film. It's like, why?
Yeah, I've seen the whole thing, and you don't need to see the rest. But I don't remember Brian Brown being in it.
I know Jamie Lannister's in it, Butler's in it, and Brian Brown. That's it.
And Sewell.
Yeah. It's just, I think, yelling the entire time.
Yes. Yes.
But to get back to this film, a much better film than Gods of Egypt.
Yes.
Is the ending is... do you think this is the original ending?
I would actually, I guess so. I don't know that.
Yeah,
but
I don't know either.
This doesn't feel too Hollywood sterilized to me. This feels more like the ending to this movie, if that makes sense. This feels natural to me. I don't know, though. I don't know if that's true or not.
I don't know either. I have no clue. I didn't super research this. Only, like, top layer.
Yeah, there's too much on this one. Honestly, there's too much stuff on the behind the scenes of this one.
I also love how William Hurt gives, like, the same performance and everything.
Yeah, I like William Hurt a lot.
So do I.
But what happened to him where he just started doing the same thing over and over again? Like,
I feel like... so what was New Lines... Oh, you've liked the movie a lot, and we've covered it. I just forgot. Lost in Space.
Yeah.
I feel like... I don't know if that's the first role he did of this, but I feel like after Lost in Space, that's William Hurt forever. I'm a older, tough man who's intelligent. But sometimes I'm a little stuck in my way.
Yeah, I'm going to squint my eyes, I'm going to have a gruff voice, and I'm going to whisper the dialogue through everything.
The only movie I remember him giving a little bit more was History of Violence.
Yes.
Where he's barely in it, but at the end, he's clearly a very charismatic mafia boss he's got a little twist, but he's still basically the same character.
Yeah. He does that kind of same thing in that Mr. Brooks with Kevin Costner, too, because he's like the bad guy. He's like the devil on his shoulder or whatever. So he gets to have a little bit more fun in that, but he's playing basically the same role in Mr. Brooks as he is in History of Violence, though. So
it's so weird. He always gives a really good, solid performance, but he kind of reminds me of like he took Kevin Costner's roles if Kevin Costner would like slightly turn into a bad guy.
Yeah, he's somewhere between Kevin Costner and Bruce Willis. You know, he's not as bad as Willis. I don't want to say it's good. Kevin Costner varies too, but like he's somewhere in that spectrum, though.
Yeah, there we go. He's in that spectrum of actors.
Yes. So if you guys don't know who William Hurt is, just kind of paint that picture.
Yeah. Because you don't need to know who William Hurt is, because he's always like, William Hurt's in this film.
Right. And
I feel like he's in the Marvel movies like that too, where he was in the Incredible Hulk, and I'm like, William Hurt's in the Marvel universe.
And then they bring him back, and I'm like, oh, yeah, William Hurt is in these movies.
He's got a mustache.
All right.
Okay.
Yeah.
I love in this film the mystery of trying to find the beach.
Right.
What is it called? Shell Beach?
Yes.
Something like that?
Yes.
Where they keep getting into like, go ahead, ask everyone. They know about it, but where is it? And like a taxi driver doesn't know where it is. He goes to a Subway, and they finally find a poster on a wall, and then William Hurt bumps into him, and then, the hand bumps into Mr. Hand bumps into him, and they break through the wall. And I know what they're saying, because they're literally breaking the wall, like going off, and it's not the fourth wall, but like they're breaking through into the movie. I don't know, there's some type of joke there, but I'm not clever enough to put it together.
Yeah. Me neither. But basically that's exactly what it is. It's sort of like Dark City is this world, and sort of the goal for everybody is to get out of this world and get to basically their Shell Beach. His Shell Beach is more of a metaphor for breaking out of this than it is actually going to Shell Beach.
Well, I was trying to figure out, I go, is Proyas saying like, oh, we're all in a box, we like all these types of movies, let's break out of that box? I was trying to figure if it was much smarter than that, or if they just had a script where it's like, oh, no, they're trapping everyone in here. Everyone thinks they're in their world, but really they're not.
I think it does have some sort of socio-political sort of like, we are all being like herded, in a way, and to do, our grind or whatever. And we always have like this hope, and we're looking out for like a vacation and whatever, this escape, but it's not really an escape from, our Dark City. I feel like that's sort of the comment that's in there, but that could just be me.
So online, I saw that like Alex Jones talks about this movie, and I found it and only could make it through 30 seconds of him blabbling, like just fucking going off everywhere.
Word vomit.
Yeah, and I'm like, I can't do this. I cannot. That man makes me sick.
Yeah, I can't listen to him either.
I had to turn it off, and I'm like, not even worth it. The clip was only 3 minutes, and I made like 23 seconds. And I go, nope.
Yeah, I can't listen to that fucking idiot.
So if you want to find that in your own, because I am not linking that bullshit.
Yeah. You guys don't want to see that. Don't give him any more clicks. You don't need it. But it's funny that he talks about that, though, because I think the socio-political can be kind of bent any which way to serve your political viewings. So I think that's
it could even be aliens or something too, because I think he like just blurted out, "I'm gonna be aliens," and I'm like, oh no. Because once you get into the ancient alien people.
Yeah, then there's no going back.
Listen, I get it. There's probably aliens out there. I mean, look how vast the universe is. But don't just make up stories.
Yeah.
And if you do make up the stories, put them on video. because then it's then you can make money.
That's right. That's right. Yeah, I wonder. So, Alex Proyas made Knowing, which is sort of the Scientology movie.
Is it?
Kind of. The one with Nick Cage. Remember that one? Nick Cage and the aliens, and the kids go with the aliens to... Nope. Remember that one? It's not that great. It's got some good set pieces in it, though. It's got some good visuals. It's kind of Alex Proyas, like, flexing his nuts a little bit again, but, like...
Flexing his nuts. Okay. Enjoy that visual.
But he's kind of doing his thing in that one, but, like, the movie's just okay or whatever. But I wonder if this does have that kind of, like... Scientology, like aliens type viewpoint in this one as well. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe we should watch that. I feel like first it's got Nicolas Cage in it, so
Nick Cage gives a really fun performance in that one, actually, in Knowing.
Well, he gives a fun performance in a lot of movies,
but he gives not fun performances in some movies
too.
I know. Lately. They're in your local Redbox for sure.
Yeah, where he's clearly just whatever. Give me the check.
Yep.
Yeah, he's all over the place. I didn't understand. Well, I understood the clocks in this, but visually they were really pushing the clocks.
Yes.
Yeah.
But like it's like time doesn't exist because it's always dark.
Yeah.
But like you only have so much time. I don't know what they're trying to say something with the clocks, but I'm not smart enough to mine that out.
No. But the whole tuning psychic Professor X Jean Grey bullshit, I like that. I just don't know why we call it tuning. I'm like, I don't know if tuning's. I understand what they were doing.
They had to give some sort of name to it.
I don't know. It's just like the ability to change the city, which is awesome.
Yeah, that's where I that's where I start making the connections, like with Inception, the folding of the city and things like that. But I don't like that movie. I do like this movie.
You don't like the spinning top?
No, I think that's an art movie for the masses, and I don't like that.
Yeah, they knew how to sell it to the general audiences, and that's why they made a fortune.
Yeah.
I also think that movie is good, but here's a curious thing to it. Never rewatched it since.
Yeah, it's definitely me neither, but I didn't like it.
I watched it, and I was like, ooh, that's saying something. I see what you're doing there. Oh, I really like that, and all the bending and the all that shit. And I've never rewatched it since.
Like, I will rewatch Dark City again. It'll probably be another 10 years, but I'll watch it again.
No, I feel like I watched this a lot in college and then kind of floated away from it, and every once in a while I'll revisit it about every 5 years.
Yeah. Yeah, I will revisit this one. Mm-hmm. And I'll get something probably different out of it every time I watch it.
Well, that's because the box is changing around you.
That's right.
The floating space city.
The VHS changes, too, every time you go to put it in.
Yeah, the next time the ending changes, you're like, what the fuck?
I mean, I feel like in a way, I do kind of get something different out of the ending every time I watch it. Because it's like, it's not definite. You know what I mean? Like, it could go either way.
Well, to me, that man has way too much power. You know he's going to be corrupt as shit eventually.
So, like, you could take it, and this time watching it, I did see it more as the happy ending. But sometimes I watch it, and I'm like, this isn't really a happy ending. You know what I mean?
Well, they at least get sun.
Yeah, but like, is it real? You know, like, is it?
Oh, yeah.
Is it real to them? Or is it like the lines you up? But this time I saw it as a happy ending.
Yeah, that's when it goes into all the bullshit of like, what is real?
Yeah, if it is made to be real for you, is it then just real? You know, like even if it's crafted for you, is it still... Yeah.
Well, that's the Matrix thing into this where, Joey Pants... He's just like, I put this steak in my mouth. It's juicy. It's salty. It tastes fantastic. But I know it's not real. And you're like, yeah, but it is real if you think it's real.
Yeah. And that's this ending here, I think.
Yeah.
But I took it happy this time. But sometimes I take it as like, well...
I feel like, oh, that's nice, he did that. And then I immediately get, just my little mind twisted, and he's like, yeah, but that fucker is going to abuse that power.
You can't take it that, like, I feel like that's a very valid, like, way to think of it, like, where's this gonna, it's happy now, but where does it go from here, like, what?
Yeah, is he going to be nice like Superman? Sure, he can do anything. But my Superman is going to be fucked up. Because he's going to start abusing that power.
Right. And maybe that's what does happen. That's what I like about this ending, I guess.
All right, that pretty much wraps up our opinions on the film. What's yours? Let us know. I mean, do you think this, you listeners out there, do you think this is an extremely underrated film? Or do you think you're like, no, it's where it needs to be, kind of in the dark shadows?
Yeah, I'm of that kind of camp where I'm like, it's found its audience.
Yeah.
It's found the people that are going to like it, and it will continue to find people who like this stuff. Is it underrated in that, like, it was a bomb? Yeah, it didn't deserve to bomb.
No.
It's a good movie, but it isn't for everybody. That's just my opinion on it. But I really like it. I really like this movie.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think this movie is for a certain audience, and it's pretty much not going to get out of that audience. It's there, that's not really a problem with the film.
You made a sci-fi movie, and people who like sci-fi like this movie. What more can you ask for?
Maybe a little bit more money in the box office.
Yeah, that's about it.
Because what I'm reading here is a budget of 27 and the box office of 27.2, which means they lost money.
Right, because marketing,
yeah,
advertising.
Well, then again, how much did they market this?
I had seen the trailer, so they marketed it enough where 8-year-old me still saw this trailer before the days of the internet. So I had seen it. I was aware of it.
That means you were aware of this film before I was. And
yeah, I was aware of this when this was coming out.
Yeah, because I probably wasn't I don't think I was aware of this until like 2000, 2001, something like that. So you, 8-year-old you is just like, what's your problem?
No, I think 8-year-old me was like, that looks cool and interesting, but like, I'll just wait.
And then
to
you
rent
knocked it out of the way and
yeah.
grabbed the mask.
Yeah, probably. Exactly.
All right, that's going to wrap it up this week. You can find us on iTunes, YouTube, Podbean, all the stuff that you can get inside your head. We're on all the podcast stuff. And you can email us at analogjonestof@gmail.com. Let us know your opinion. Yeah.
Right in on that Facebook. Talk to us. Let's get a little Facebook discussion going of Dark City, because I feel like there are some extreme opinions on this movie.
I'm sure there is. I'm sure we can get some too.
Let's get a rise out of somebody.
I hope someone tells us, you just don't understand, man.
But it's like, but I'm saying I like the movie.
Yeah.
I'm saying I don't understand, but I like it. So where do I land there?
Hopefully we get someone that's more like, yeah, this movie was shit.
Yeah, that's
okay.
That's
all right.
Tell me why. Tell me why.
All right, that's going to do it. So remember to be kind.
And rewind.